Welcome to the Fantasy Football Garage. I'm Chris. My friends call me the Candyman, and you already know what time it is. Tonight, we're drafting best ball teams, and it's PGA Wednesdays. The show is called Birdie Hunting, and we are going low. We're going for those best ball tournaments. It's the Albatross right now, majors only, and we're going to jump right into it. So, for all of my channel members that get access to the Google Sheets, not only for the big board, but for the Albatross, I'm going to do a little quick walkthrough of the Albatross sheet, the Birdie Hunting sheet, tell you what's on it, tell you how to use it, and then we're going to make some picks. We're going to draft, and I have an extra special guest here that I'm going to bring on after we review the sheet. So stay tuned. We got a lot to do tonight. We got the Albatross. We've got the Underdog Open for Riv. We're going to be talking one and dones, everything this week. So if you're new to the channel or if you're watching this later in the future, make sure you're subscribed. I've got a goal to hit 1,000 subs before the start of the NFL season. And I think I can do it, but I need your help. Totally free to subscribe, to like, to get here in the chat and say what up. Come draft with us, be a part of the Garage community. And if you want to be a premium member, I do share my data models and my analytics with you. I'm happy to do it. I do it for myself. It's a passion project, but I'd love to share it with you if you want to come in and get in on the fun. So without further ado, let's get into the Albatross. So the Albatross is the majors only PGA season long best ball on Underdog. And what I've got here in this sheet is my, first of all, ADP tracking. So the tournament opened on January 20th. I've been tracking ADP changes about twice a week the whole time. So going left to right, we see the changes in ADP. And then I have the last week over week ADP change highlighted in this column. We can see that Hideki, after his runner-up at the Waste Management, he's continued to rise. He's been a strong player to start the year. So he's up about, one pick on the draft board from 8.7 to 7.7 over the last week. It's a rise of about 10%, 11%, 12%, right? He's also highlighted in green because Hideki has won a major previously. He's a major winner. In fact, he won at Augusta. So over on the far right side over here, we're tracking the number of majors these players have already won. And this is ranked on the latest ADP in the last 24 hours. In the first round, the only player without a major victory is Tommy Fleetwood. Could he get it done this year? Maybe. I'm slightly fading Tommy Fleetwood. I like John Rahm and Xander a little more, but I think I want to have some exposure to Tommy. What we've also got here is players who have risen consecutively for the last 3 weeks or the last three periods that I pulled the ADP are going to be highlighted in the orange, like John Rahm. Players who have fallen consecutively for 3 periods are going to be highlighted in the blue, like Xander. And then I've also got some other details built in here. If the player's name is in white, they're qualified for, they've either won a major or they're qualified for all 4 majors. And if their name's highlighted in blue, dark blue, they're only qualified for 2 or less. If their name's highlighted in a light gold color, they're qualified for 3. And what that comes from is this column over here. And this is actually the number of events they've qualified for. I update this weekly. So X point Y, where X is guaranteed and Y is on track to qualify. We can look and we know Scotty Scheffler, he is a 4.0. He's qualified for all of the majors. That's not going to change. Surprisingly enough, Hideki is only qualified for 3 of the majors. He's guaranteed to be in them, but he's on track to qualify for, I believe it's the PGA. And I track that over here to the right. So I'll scroll over. Yeah, it's the PGA. There's a Z in the column for the PGA at Aeronomic Golf Club. He's on track. He will qualify, and he's going to get in based on being a money leader and also based on his official world golf ranking, which I have right here. So players who are going to be top 50 the week before the Masters will get in, top 60 before the US Open, and the Open will get in, and probably about top 100 before the PGA will get into that event. So I pull the ADP about twice a week, but once a week we get an update for the official world golf rankings. I pull that in. Usually I update my sheet on Tuesdays. And so we can see for the last what is that, 5 weeks, players who have risen in the official world golf ranking or fallen and where they are and what that means and the implication if they're on track to qualify for more majors. Here we have the data golf ranking. This is kind of weighted towards their recent performance and strokes gained across the tours. So it's just one more metric to let us know who's been hot lately. You can see Hideki has been a guy that's gone from a data golf rank of about 17 or 18 a month ago. He's easily top 10, number 6 right now. And his world golf ranking is pretty similar. He's been rising, right, as he's been finishing highly in these PGA Tour events. So that's a lot of what's in the sheet. That's a lot of what I'm tracking and sharing with you. I've also got here the tournament histories for all of the players, and I have it for the last 5 years. I have in the field header the player that's won it each of the last 5 years, and we have their finish. So Scotty Scheffler finished 4th, 1st, 10th, 1st, and 18th at the Masters the last 5 years. What an incredible run. So the highlights here, if it's dark green, they won. If it's dark blue, top 5. Light blue, top 10. If the number is in white, it's top 25. If it's in yellow, it's kind of like a top 50. And then we are signaling if they got cut or if they no contested. I tracked that for all of 4 of the majors, for all of the players in my sheet. We've got it for the PGA Championship all the way back from, shout out to Scotty Scheffler getting arrested at Valhalla. We had Quail Hollow last year where Scotty won. And then in for the U.S. Open, of course, Oakmont Country Club last year. Now we're going to Shinnecock Hills Golf Club in Southampton, New York. So we've got all of this data in here. And the Open Championship, of course, another rotating major for where the course they play. This year's at Royal Birkdale. You'll remember Royal Birkdale is where one of my guys, Jordan Spieth, won the Open back in, I want to say it was 2019, if I'm not mistaken. So I've got all that tracked, as well as something over here totaled up. How many times out of the last 5 years, the last 20 majors, did a player get a top 25, a top 10, or a top 5? Believe it or not, out of the last 20 majors, Scotty Scheffler has 18 top 25s. Incredible. 15 of those are top 10s. Like, what are we even talking about, right? This guy's insane. And 5 top 8s. Come on. We know he's we're tracking his major wins. He got 4 major victories, 2 at Augusta, last year at Quail Hollow, and last year at Royal Portrush. So he's going to continue to build on that. All that matters is the Open. It's the finals of this tournament. It's where all the money is, right? $50,000 up top. So you got to win at the Open. You got to have the winner. I'm also tracking in a separate column their history at the Open. So Scotty's always been a top 25 player at the Open, 3 out of 5 top 10s, and he has 1 top 5 where he won it last year. So all of this and more, I'm tracking it for hundreds of players in here. This is the sheet. If you want to draft the Albatross, I think it would help if you had this. And I share this with all of my premium YouTube members as well. If you're drafting for NFL Best Ball, I have a similar version for the big board. And I also had a version for the scramble that we were drafting the season-long PGA Best Ball before this. So yeah, all this and more. And I'm drafting live PGA Wednesdays every Wednesday night. I get into the Albatross. We do the Underdog Open. We talk about our one and dones and we preview the courses. It's second week of signature events. We're getting into Riviera Country Club, and it's going to be a great week for golf. So that's all I want to say about the sheet. Just wanted to explain it. And if you have any questions about the sheet, feel free to reach out to me on Twitter at FFB Garage. You can reach out to me on Discord if you're in any of our shared servers, or you can DM me. I'm Chris _ the Candyman. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. You can find me. Or you could email me, fantasyfootballgarage@gmail.com. If you have any questions about the sheet, if you want to get access, hit me up. Let's ship the Albatross. I want to see a bunch of us making the finals this year. I think we can do it. We've got the data. We know what it takes. We know the good picks from the bad picks. Because when you scroll down, when you get to pick 70 in this draft, you're going to want to know if a player is qualified for 4 events or on track to be, like a Rasmus Niergaard Peterson, a Sam Stevens, Matt McCarty, Christopher Wrighton, Sammy Valimaki, or you're going to want to avoid guys like maybe Will Zalatoris, who's not qualified for any events, guys that get drafted almost every draft. Tony Finau's only qualified for one event. Daniel Berger just lost a third qualification, so he's only on track for two. And you're going to want to avoid some of these guys and figure out who to draft, who's rising, who's falling. I've got it all here, so come draft with me. Without further ado, I'm going to bring on a friend of the channel. You guys know him. You love him. His first time on the stream. I'm going to jump over here into an Albatross. At the same time, let's change the overlay and let's bring on our good friend Jeff T from the chat. Let me get him in here. Let me fix up. Boom.
Hey.
Hey, how we doing, Jeff? Good to see you,
Pretty
buddy.
good. How are you, Chris? First time listener, long time listener, first time caller. There we go. How are you?
Dude, I'm doing great. I'm having fun drafting this week for Riv. It's just another signature event with actually a cut this time, and so there's some nuance to it there. I've done a few of I did like some of the par threes. I did some of the $5 versions, and then I'm excited to get into the Underdog Open later tonight. How's your draft season been going, brother?
I'll tell you what, I don't do the dailies, but I do the season longs. Honestly, I've had some really good Albatross teams.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, I'm really happy with some of them. One of the benefits of drafting early is that you can potentially build a really top-heavy team. And I felt like I did a really good job of that for about half of my teams, which is great. Also kind of avoided some landmines, so definitely can't complain early. But I do like to balance it out because you never really know. Like, because I remember last year, JJ Spawn was a late riser, and he was actually the last pick on a team I got to the finals. So
Ooh, nice.
it just makes sense to balance everything out, But the early teams definitely looking pretty top heavy, which is nice. And then, but there'll be some guys who rise up. Some guys that come out of nowhere. Honestly, I think not getting into it too much. I think Pearson Cootie's been one of them. The
Oh, yeah.
ADP's really kind of adjusted to him. So he's not really because I think JJ Spawn last year was only owned in was only drafted in 30% of the albatrosses. Like it wasn't many.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just so like I said, try to balance out from when I draft. But yeah, like I said, some early, some late. You never know what you're gonna need and when you're gonna need them.
So true. I did a bunch. I think I'm close to 50 now. I did a bunch in the first 2 and 3 weeks, mostly through slows, of course some fast, some on stream. I was doing pretty regular cadence of starting a few slows a day. I've really slowed down now because I think my predictions on a lot of the players I thought would rise have been rising. There's only maybe one or two names that I want to hammer right now that are starting to rise or that are qualifying for more things that I didn't fully anticipate. But otherwise, yeah, I think, and then hammering it right before the close is a big thing to do. It can be hard to do though, because to get the volume in and to make sure the drafts are filling, and then a week or two before it becomes the clock on the slows goes like a 4 hour, like a 1 hour clock or a 2 hour clock. It makes it just tougher. But yeah, I just like you said, drafting at all different times of the season with more information. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, I didn't mean to cut you off there, but I remember I left a comment on the Badge Bros channel. Basically, if you can get into the Masters in the top 50 within 2 weeks of the Masters, yeah, Rory's. Oh, it's funny, Peter Malnati.
You're a Rory guy at the 102.
Actually, I do have, for my personal rankings, I have Rahm at 2, but I always take Rory here because I would never get him if I don't. So
okay,
but
okay.
Yeah,
well, I'm happy
Peter
to. I mean,
Malnati should be 101. I know, but
okay. All right. So Scheffler goes. That's strange. I think he was trying to click Malnati and must run out of time.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So do we want to go Rory just to get him?
Yeah, go Rory. Yeah. No, take Rory. I'll always take Rory at 2, even though I have Rahm ranked ahead of him. Because if I don't take Rory there, I'll never get any of them.
Yeah, that's how I'm kind of playing it. Most of the time, the exception is I'm gonna be underexposed to Fleetwood, and it kind of I know Fleetwood's good across all of the majors, and
Yep.
he's just a good golfer. I'm just underexposed to him because I would take Rom over him and I would take Xander over him, and I've said it on stream, but so I'm fixing it. Like what I did, I consciously in a slow draft today that I had the 103. I consciously took Fleetwood. It
Okay.
was either the 103 or 104, and I just did it. I
Yeah.
just said I'm gonna get some Fleetwood. I don't want to have like
Nice.
2% Fleetwood. I want to have like 4 or 5%, and it's probably better just to be or what not 4 or 5%. I'm like, what's the field is 16%, so I'm gonna be like
Yeah.
6 to 9% Fleetwood, something like that.
Okay. It looks like we're up in 2 picks. Let's start starting some guys we want to take here.
Sure.
Um, yeah, honestly, these I'm fine with these rankings. Hovland's fine. I definitely probably Cam Young hasn't got off to the best start. I definitely go Hovland, Fitzpatrick, or Goddard. Really like Goddard's ball striking. He's
Should
hitting
we
the
go with
ball
Goddard up?
not in the second round. I think we should either go Fitz or Hovland.
Who do you like the best?
Hovland.
Okay, me too.
I
Yeah,
do
I like
think.
Hovland.
Yeah, I think he's got the most upside, honestly, because I think if he's got his game together, in terms of like the overall package, I'd say he's better than Fitz, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think he can be
That's
for
fine.
sure. Yeah, I knew Goddard's going to go. I
And
think.
that's okay. Like I said, that's okay. I don't want to chase him up too far. I'll take him in the third round. I don't want to chase him up too far. I would go Rose here. Actually, I'd
Yeah, I
go
was going to
Justin
say, have you
Rose.
been? I have been chasing up
Oh,
Rose.
it's funny. I was in a draft with you a few weeks ago, and I have a Scotty Justin Rose in the fourth round team. I really like that one.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
I was
It was funny. I was gonna say I'm because you were sniping at some of the players that I wanted. I was like, I'm pretty sure Chris knows this is me because he's taking everyone I want to take. Because
no
you were in the
doubt.
second spot in that draft, I know. But yeah, no, but yeah, no, so Scott, yeah, Justin Rose there. I never understood when the contest opened. He started at 13. I never understood why he was falling because
Yeah, I
because
think.
he always does good at the Masters. He has the most round one firsts in the history of the Masters.
Yeah, he's an ace. Rose is just, I mean, a stud, right? I mean,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know if you've seen any of the clips lately about like his workout routine and like how
I
intense
know.
he
Yeah,
is.
he's still got it. Yeah.
He still got it. Patrick
All right,
Reed has been this guy that I've been just
yeah,
hammering.
no, I love Patrick Reed. We got let's pull up the board and we can talk a little bit more about him in a little bit because we're not going to get him obviously. Let's
Yeah,
see what we got
we
here.
got Hartman
Yeah.
right next to us in this one.
Okay, I would. Oh God, I hate.
In or out on
Yeah.
Siwoo.
Oh, definitely Siwoo here. Definitely Siwoo. Yeah, definitely. I was gonna say I didn't think that he'd be available, but definitely Siwoo.
Yeah, I mean, the
I,
dude has been on
I'm a big,
fire.
yeah, I'm a big believer in his early season form. Definitely like that. Then I would go either Spawn or English. Like I said, I am worried about Spawn being a bit of a one-year wonder, but I would take him in the fourth round still. He's going to be in all the majors, and I just think he can get it together and still have some good finishes.
Are you ready to, like, not that we have to take him in this spot, but are you beginning to click Justin Thomas, or were you always in?
I was always in him in the fifth round. I think so basically, I think he's someone whose ADP will start shooting up to maybe the third round. So if you want to get ahead of that prize, you should probably just take Justin Thomas here.
Because to me, Spawn goes, it
Yeah.
would be Justin Thomas
Yeah, let's go Justin Thomas. Yeah.
or
Because
English, but
no, no,
we're
let's go
feeling
Justin
confident
Thomas.
that Justin Thomas is not having any setbacks. And
Yeah, yeah. Well, like I said, once he plays, he's only going to go up in ADP. So just take him now.
let's just get him now. And he's a third round pick next week.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I'm looking at it.
Because
Yeah.
that's probably my second Justin Thomas click out of all of my drafts. And one time I got him in
Mhm.
like the late 40s.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's sweet. But yeah, no, like I said, I think this fifth round Justin Thomas, it's a good price. It's not going to be here much longer, so just get him now.
Yeah, and I'm still monitoring the situation. But like I said, I'm underexposed right now. It's time to get some Justin Thomas. Things are looking pretty good. I do follow him on social media and just like everyone's hearing about how he's doing. He's the guy we're most concerned with from an injury standpoint right now. Maybe
Mhm.
except Sung JM, who I have not heard a single thing about.
Yeah, no, that's actually a good point. You brought his name up. He's still going in the 40s on this contest, I think. And I don't know when he's coming back from injury. I just don't want to click him at all.
Gotcha. Yeah, I stopped clicking him and I've just put him on like the watch list of, it's tough. It's tough.
So I'll say Akshay or Gerard here. That's probably where I'm going.
Yeah, I like both those guys. I bet both
Oh,
of them
Hartman,
go.
yeah, I gotta get sniped. If he gets sniped, which he probably will. Um, God, I don't like Day.
You don't
I
want
would
some
probably,
Day. Not a fan
yeah,
of Wyndham Clark as much.
oh, we get Gerard anyway. Perfect. All right, we'll take him
What about this? So we got Gerard for this one. What about for the
for the
7?
next round around. Yeah, we could do. I'll let you kind of steer the ship. I like a lot of actually. Nap's rising. We could probably take Nap on the wrap around if he's there. But I would
Yeah,
take Gerard
we'll see
first.
about that. He's an interesting name. We're gonna go Gerard here, and then I'll just kind of queue up. I mean, here's the thing. I want to get a little different, and I don't. I mean, I love like I have a ton of Brian Harmon and a ton of Cam Smith, just
Yeah,
because. I mean, they're
they're
both major
past major
winners.
winners. Yeah,
They both have won the Open in the last 5 years, and was Brian Harmon's.
yeah. It was
Yeah, it was.
2023. Yeah,
Yeah, so obviously, yeah, Brian. But like their back weighted tournament history makes me draft them so much. I've got like a ton of both of them. I'm like over 40% on both of them. And
yeah.
that's to me, it's getting close to too much exposure. So I'm trying to figure out who else do I even like in this range, really.
Well, honestly, we're kind of at the point where we could do a little bit of scrolling down.
Sure.
I would. Oh shoot, it's a 38 ABP. Jake Knapp's 48. Yeah, you're right. We could probably wait on him. We
We don't
could
have
go
to.
Harmon. Yeah, we go Harmon. Brian Harmon.
You
Because
like
yeah, because usually putters do well at the Open Championship, and he's a good putter, and he's
yeah.
won there. I do. Cam Smith on the Live Tour, he's starting to play some good golf again. So
Mhm. Okay.
I'm a little bit more intrigued with that now. But actually, this was one of we were gonna play a little game, numbers, and I was gonna say,
Oh, we'll get
yeah,
into it. We'll get into it. Don't
yeah,
worry.
yeah, that was one of the ones I had for you, and I forgot to write that one down. I'll write it now.
Perfect.
But yeah, no. So we'll
Hey,
we'll
guess,
we'll
guess
get
who
back to
goes
that
at
later.
the 7.5? Your favorite golfer. Do you see it right there?
Oh yeah. So the reason why, okay, so if you guys watch this stream, you should know this is a terrible pick because he's only going to play in the PGA Championship. So just so you know, the only chance, because he's not going to get in through OWGR, the only chance Neiman has to qualify for the Masters is the South African Open next week, and he can't get in the field unless he gets an invite to it, which he probably won't. So in other words, he's not going to be in the Masters. So it's an unbelievably terrible pick.
Yeah, no doubt. And I see we got Jamie's in here in the chat. He's MLB Syndicate in the one spot. So nice. I mean, half this room is in our chat. We got us, Hartman, MLB. That's great.
Yeah.
We're starting to fill these bad
All
boys.
right.
So of
So
course, Nap's gonna go. Nap's been the big.
no, that's
Nap
okay.
is a
I'm
big
taking
riser.
I'm taking Bridgman here all day. I think
Yes.
Bridgman is actually the best value on the board right now. He's virtually guaranteed to be in all the majors, and he's pretty much the only one going after pick 50 who's still going to be in all the majors. So I think Bridgman's the best pick here. He's also playing well.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, he was kind
Like
of in the running last week.
Cootie's
Bad
on
boy.
pace. If Cootie's on pace, but Bridgman's already guaranteed because he made the Tour Championship last year. And if you make the Tour Championship, you're guaranteed into the Masters, U.S. Open, and Open Championship. And basically, everyone who breathes gets into the PGA Championship. So
For
I do
sure.
like. Let's see here. Rise attractive. Let's see. Niergaard, Peterson, Stevens. Either of those are fine. Ryan Fox is okay. He's just a
Yeah.
little. Let's go Rye. Let's go Rye.
I'm cool with going Rye. I
Yeah,
do have a
because
lot of Rye. I had just moved Rye down in my rankings just so I could shift up the exposures, but I don't mind taking him at all.
well, the thing about Ryan Fox is his OWGR is at 49, and
It's
he's
rich.
only in the. Yeah, it's a little bit worrisome. I think he is guaranteed in the Masters and Open, which is nice, but so is Rye.
Sure.
I would be worried about Fox not getting in the U.S. Open. That's the only hesitancy there. Whereas Rye's OWGR is so high, he'll probably get in the U.S. Open.
That's a very sharp way to think about it. Thigala has been getting some hype because he did all right through the first 3 weeks, but then
Terrible pick. I mean, what's he going to be in the PGA Championship, and that's it. I mean, if he wins the tournament, which he can, he would get into all of the majors, but I just don't think he will.
and he's decent in the majors too. Like he's decent at Augusta if I'm not mistaken, but he's not going to get in.
Yeah, he'll have to win a tournament, which I don't think he
There's not that
will.
much time left, and I mean, on the schedule, he obviously could win. He could have 3 top 10 finishes in something and then rise up. But isn't he? He's not in signature events, and we're coming up on a stretch of some more signature events after we finish the Genesis, which he got the special invite into, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he did get that special invite. That's correct.
So
Okay,
Adam
so
Scott is only qualified for 3 of the events,
yeah,
and
no, that was one of the numbers I was going to ask you later. So about Adam Scott, we'll get into that later. But Nearguard Peterson, I feel a lot more confident he'll get in all 4 than Adam Scott. Sam Stevens, I also feel confident. Um, Matt McCarty.
yeah,
His Matt McCarty's OWGR is high enough to Christopher Wrighton,
yeah,
him. I would go Matt McCarty out of all these. I
perfect.
think just because his OWGR is the highest. That's the only reason why.
Yes, and I have McCarty. I mean, he's probably my 3rd most exposed player in like the 40s range.
Actually, let's play the ADP game. Let's go. Actually, no, I think one spot's been sniping us. Let's just take McCarty.
Yeah, no, this is perfectly good. I like McCarty. I've been taking him a ton. In the 10th round, I consider every pick in the 9, 10, 11, 12 as flat. Like if there's no ADP for me to have to want to take advantage of.
Yeah, one spot's definitely watching this stream.
Yeah, he's in here.
He's been sniping us this whole time.
Also the like where Jake Knapp went from. I wasn't really drafting him because he's barely qualified for 2 events, but now he's qualified for 3, and he could also soon be
Yeah,
qualified.
his Jake Knapp's OWGR is high enough. I'd be confident that he gets in all 4. I definitely feel okay. So let's go either Wrighton or Penge. I'm just a little bit worried about Adam Scott getting in the U.S. Open. I just not sure he will. Yeah, Penge does have the higher OWGR, but he hasn't been playing well. But neither is Wrighton. So let's just take Penge just because he has the higher OWGR.
Love it, and he hits the ball miles.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say so on Knapp, he went from like we can look at the ADP. I'll pull it up super quick, but I'll scroll down to Knapp. He's one of the guys who's highlighted here. He went from 70s to 68. Last week he was 62. Boom, he jumps up to 48. And so 48, that's gonna be like, what is that? Probably like round 8, right? Like he's going like round 7, 8. In this one, Knapp went
I think at 40, 45 or something. I don't remember.
43 in round 8. So he's going to be a round 7, 8 guy. So 7 and 8, those are the rounds that you're going to rise into when you rise.
Yeah.
Rounds 19, 11, 12, like they're completely flat. Like if you rise, you jump out of that group immediately.
All right. Well, let's star some guys who are confident are going to play in all the majors. I think Kim's got a good shot. Brennan's guaranteed to be in, I believe, the first 3. So we might as well just start him. Even though he's been playing great.
Good enough too that like he's probably just in all of them, right?
Yeah. Let's just take Brennan if he's there. Oh, actually, no. Wrighton. Right. No, Wrighton's guaranteed in the Open. Take Wrighton first, and then Brennan if he's not there.
Sure. Kim has not been playing so great, right?
Yeah. But I think he'll still get in, right? So.
So Kim should be getting in, but who do you prefer?
Let's just take Brennan. He's got the higher OWGR. That's just kind of the tiebreaker I use, just because you're more like you said on one of your streams, the fall for OWGR is a lot slower than the rise.
Sure.
So once you're in, you're more likely to stay in than fall out.
Yeah. So
since Michael Brennan's I think like 40 in the world right now, you might as well just play him. He's already qualified for the Masters. Because everyone gets in the PGA, he'll be in the PGA. Like I said, I would imagine he'll be able to hang on to a good enough OWGR to get the U.S. Open as well. So that's the first 3 for Brennan. And like I said, if he surprises us, maybe pops off a good finish at an event no one plays, like the CJ Cup, he can maybe find his way back in the Open Championship. You never know. So.
No, it makes total sense. I think with Brennan too, it's his first year on the tour. I'm expecting kind of a slow start, and maybe he just heats up and has a nice finish at one of the majors. Maybe just like the PGA, I think is an relatively easier one to maybe get a top 10 or top 15. Just has a bunch of birdies in a round and really helps out a score. So that's kind of in the last round. What I'm looking for is just a guy that can pop, and we got to bet on the future a little bit. Right. One guy that's been falling out of the OWGR and getting into stuff is Taylor Pendrith.
Yeah, that was I was gonna say, like, I never understood why people, like, he opened this contest I think like in the 50s, and like his OWGR was 51 at the end of the year, so I think a lot of people thought he would be getting in. I think it rose to like 42 or 43 after Sony, which is why it skyrocketed, and then not skyrocketed, but went up a little bit, and then like I think he's missed every cut since Sony, so like he's just been falling since then. So I've never been on Pendrith. If you want to kind of take a shot on a guy to get inside the the top 50, I would definitely do Jaden Shaper just because
Yeah.
he's in the field for the South African Open, which is the last chance to get into the Masters through other means other than OWGR.
Hmm.
So, like I said, it's not the strongest field, the South African Open. So he's got a real shot to win that. So he can even get in the Masters without his OWGR. So Shaper's a pretty decent last round bet right now. And even if he doesn't get in the Masters, he should get into the last three because with the Open Championship, the top 25 in the race to Dubai get in, and he's definitely going to be in the top 25, right? So he's not going to be outside. So you'll still have at least two majors guaranteed. That's the PGA and the Open Championship. And
Yeah.
then he's still got a shot to qualify. I'd say he's got a pretty good shot to qualify for the US Open, even if he doesn't get in the Masters. But we'll see. That's all up in the air. But yeah, Shaper's a solid bet. But yeah,
I've
like I
come
said,
around on him. The trivia for Shaper was, um, he was the highest ranked
South African, yeah.
South African coming into the season, right? Ahead of Higo, ahead of all
Yeah.
of the others to get drafted as well. Um, the names, I mean, now put me on the spot. I'm putting myself on the spot, and I can't think of any other South Africans, but there's plenty.
Like Bezuidenhout,
Yeah,
Zago,
Bezuidenhout was drafted.
Potgieter. Yeah.
Yeah, Potgieter, of course. I was drafting some Potgieter when this thing opened. I'm not really clicking him as much right now.
Yeah, he is in the first. He's in the first and the last, but his OWGR will probably get him in the PGA Championship. But he just missed so many cuts last year. You know,
Yeah.
he seems like someone who got hot at the right because he wanted the Rocket Mortgage, which is a bomber course, and he's a bomber. So I think that definitely played a role. But yeah, no, I just and I know a lot of people are Hao Tong Lee. I don't think I don't think he's going to get in the U.S. Open. But he'll be in 3 to 4. So in the last round, I would still definitely get a good amount of Hao Tong Lee. But I just wouldn't go crazy and chase him up the board.
Yeah, he was my favorite late round click for a while, and I've stopped clicking him so aggressively because he might not get into the US Open, like you were saying, and he's kind of borderline on OWGR. I did like that I think he has 2 career top 10 finishes at the Open, and one of them was a 4th last year, tied 4th, if I'm not mistaken. And so, like, for some reason, he just plays well in that environment. He's been a professional for like over 10 years, so he's kind of been under the radar guy that I think just
Yeah.
has what it takes to place well in a major, not necessarily win one, but so he was one of my favorite clicks for a while. But now I'm starting to mix it up. Like you're right. Like I want to get some more Shaper, and then there's some other names that I've been interested in clicking. We'll see if a guy like Echeverria can rise up. Maybe he performs well this week at Riv.
Yeah, Echeverria is someone that could definitely rise, and he would be someone that's probably going to only get drafted in like 30% of these if he gets a
Yeah.
late rise. I think because he's not right now in the Arnold Palmer, so he would have to play his way in. So I'd imagine he plays the cog. And like I said, we'll see. I mean, maybe he has a good finish at like the COG and API, and then he'll rise there. But I think the most likely scenario for Echeverria is he'd probably rise at like the Valspar and like the Houston Open.
Sure.
Yeah. But I'll tell you, someone who rises through those two events, they're probably going to be like what 10% drafted. So it's really important to track OWGR for those two events. So. It'll be, like I said, it'll be interesting to see what happens. But personally, I do want some guys who no one's going to have. It is beneficial, but I also don't want to go crazy, right?
No,
Because
for sure.
because I was watching the Badge Bros stream. The guy said, scroll down for Jackson Coyven, and he's a smart guy, but at the same time, when's the last time you've seen an amateur do anything at a major?
True. And yeah, Skylar was talking about, I did listen in on that a little bit today when I could. Skylar was talking about Coyven. There's actually, and I'm going to pop over to my sheet real quick. Sorry for the blinding lights. I have a watch list in here. I'm going to zoom out just a bit. And what I want to show y'all over here. So I've got a watch list. This is Andy Sullivan. I started watching him, but he hasn't.
Yeah.
Anyways, he's not the point. He's just the top guy here. I've got other guys on the watch list. I've been tracking, and like Højgaard's going in and out. Cootie was on the watch list at the beginning of the month. He's obviously risen a bunch. Smiley had won a live event, so top live golfer for a minute. But what I wanted to show over here is this is from Data Golf, and these are the guys, the recent movements in and out of the majors. And so this is another thing you get access to in my Google Sheet for being a channel member, but it's also available on Data Golf. I just kind of aggregate a bunch of data and put it in a nice little format. But so you can go to Data Golf and see this. What this is, the recent movement, the recent locks, guys who are in or out on the bubble. So Shaper, he was fully qualified for 2 of the events and can like on track to be qualified for the other 2. I believe he just fell out of OWGR like in the last 10 days for the
Mhm.
Masters, which so I know that's just one thing, but what I really wanted to point out was there's an amateur from Argentina, Pulcini, and he's in at he had just won. I forget what it is. He had just
The
won, and
Latin American Amateur, right?
yeah, I want to say that's what it is. He's in at the Masters. He's in at the U.S. Open, and he's in at the Open. So, like, I don't think he'll potentially play at the PGA. Maybe there's a path for him in
No,
there.
so the PGA has a rule against amateurs playing.
Okay. So that's why. I was like, I can't figure out why. But so that's what that one is. Obviously, now it's coming back to me. That's why I've got you on here, Jeff. Very sharp guy, helping us stay rounded. But so Pulcini, he's in 3 of the 4 majors, but like he's never going to get drafted. I don't actually think there's an edge in drafting him. He's most likely to get cut at every major.
Yeah, that's exactly why I would totally, respectfully disagree with the Koiven take. I just don't see him contending at any of the 2 that he's going to be in. And also another amateur that's in 3 of the 4 is Mason Howell. I'm not going to take any Mason Howell. Just don't want to, like I said, just don't want to just go there. Just don't want to go down the amateur route. The history against amateurs at these, I mean, some of them may pop off for a round or 2, but like over the whole tournament, very unlikely.
Yes. And yeah. Okay, that's a good point. It's a good thing to think it. In the chat, Mr. Byron Lindeque, he's throwing out 5 gifted subs. What a legend, the man. And let me throw this up here. Boom! Look at this guy. What a gentleman and a scholar. Happy Genesis Week, friends! It's a beautiful week on the PGA Tour in Southern California, and man, so thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much for that, Byron. Always a pleasure to see in the chat. And if you guys already know because you guys are golf.
Actually, Byron, you should get Byron back on here next week. It's South African Open week.
Oh, that's perfect timing. Yeah, we got to have Byron back on the channel soon. It's too much fun.
Because I have a DraftKings sportsbook bet on the over of 1.5 white Africans you have as a guest on the channel this year. So if you can get Byron on, that'd be great.
Yes,
so that way I can hit that bet. Yeah.
Oh, it's in the works. It's
okay, good.
In the works. So everyone in the chat, you already know him. You're already subscribed. But in case you're new to the channel, if you're watching this in the future, go to Back 9 Bets YouTube channel. Make sure you're subscribed. Also, make sure you're subscribed to the Mayo Media Network, where Byron is also putting out great content all of the time. So all of the different media content you can find Byron at the Model Maniac on Twitter, on X.com. Dude, check out his content, his written work, his streams, videos, wherever you can find him, his tweets. He's a voracious tweeter. This guy, yeah. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thanks for being here. And cheers. Cheers. We're going to have a great week at Riv. The man tossing out some of those membies, those sweet membies. If you want to claim, now that you're a channel member, if you want to claim some access to the Albatross Google Sheet, hit me up like I was saying in the intro at FFB Garage on X on Twitter, or you can email me fantasyfootballgarage@gmail.com, or you can find me if you can find me on Discord. If we share a server, I'm not the biggest Discord guy, but I'm on there enough, I guess. I don't know, whatever. Chris _ the Candyman, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But yeah, so awesome, dude, sweet. And let's just do I want to have Jeff T do a quick run through of this team and what you have to do for me, Jeff T. You have to paint the vision.
Paint the vision.
We're in, what is it going to be, June? Or is it July for the
Open? July for the Open, yeah.
It's July, right? Because I always think of 4th of July.
Yeah.
It's July. It's the Open. It's Saturday night. And tomorrow we're waking up for the finishing round. This team's already in the finals. How did we
know
get
what we're doing,
and how do we win it with this team?
Well, we got there because Justin Rose is an Augusta killer that's never won, and he's finally due. So he comes through for us at Augusta. I know. The PGA Championship, Siwoo says, I've already won the 5th major. I'm going to take the PGA Championship as well.
Ooh.
I know. And then, basically Scotty just has food poisoning at the U.S. Open, and then Jacob Bridgman comes out of nowhere and wins. And then
Wow.
I
Bold.
I know,
Bold.
and food poisoning is always the best way to beat Scotty Scheffler. And then for the Open Championship, we're gonna have Victor Hovland come through, get us the
Yes.
W, and then we win 50,000. So that's how this works.
Incredible. I love it. Rory's just along for the ride. He doesn't get any majors this year, but
No,
guess what? He got enough
I,
last year. He's
I
good
mean,
for a
he
while.
started his farewell tour the day after the Masters ended last year, so he can continue on that farewell tour.
That's perfect. I don't think we drafted any live golfers. You have something
Oh,
against live guys?
let's get into this numbers game that I had.
Perfect.
Okay, so we're gonna play a little game. I'm gonna give Chris a number. He's gonna say over or under without knowing what the number is tied to. Okay, so we're gonna get some good golf knowledge right now from Chris. Okay, all
Okay.
right. So the first one, over under 0.5.
Over.
Okay, well that's the number of seconds you're gonna be on stream without sunglasses this year.
I said over.
Yeah, you said over. Is that an accurate number or is that incorrect?
That's incorrect.
Okay. Okay.
Well, I'll do a slight caveat.
Okay, yeah.
BBG, best ball guy, he was trying to convince me to do something. If and when we hit 1,000 subs for the channel,
Okay.
I can't do it alone. I need the support of everyone out there if you're watching. But BBG's like, no, you got to lean into it. I think he did like a 24-hour stream when he hit 1,000. I know PPR has done that. And so he's trying to give me ideas of what to do at 1,000 subs as a celebration for the channel. And multiple people have hinted at, oh, you got to do a face reveal, sunglasses off. And I'm just like, no, that's going to take a lot more subs than 1,000. But
okay. Well, so the over isn't going to hit. You're saying, okay, that's good to know.
I would take the under on that. Whatever you can get, it's going to be, that's the line. If it's prediction markets, you're going to take the no and make some.
All right, well, let's get into the golf ones then. Okay, over under 1.5.
Over under 1.5. Under.
Okay, this is Majors. Scotty wins this year.
I'm comfortable with that, given I think what I've seen in the sim so far. So I'd subscribe to Rick Rungood was one of the sources I use. I've seen how Scotty in the field has been simming out, week to week. He's usually anywhere from a 5th to a 4th or better odds to win any given week. So assuming that stays true, even though the majors are a little bit difficult, but of course he's had great success in the majors. I think I would be safe under 1.5, knowing that if the models are accurate and directionally accurate, he would probably win 1 out of every 5 majors. And if we get 4 in a year, maybe he wins 1, but I'd still be safe under. So I feel good about that, actually.
Okay. All right. So I got 3 at 1.5. So this one over under 1.5 again.
Okay, this time I know I think I know who's going to be. I'm going to say also under.
Okay, well I'm thinking that's a good guess. I'll take the under on this too. This is live golfers that finish inside the top 10, excluding Rahm and Bryson.
Wow, that would hurt my Cam Smith bags a lot if that's true.
I think
all of the majors or for one of them?
For all four.
Oh damn. Under 1.5 to finish in top 10. I would say, because I'm thinking like Cam Smith.
Hatton, that's the one that comes to mind.
But then for a 2, it's like, who's it going to end up being? It's.
Well, I have Hatton, and I don't even have Cam Smith finishing top 10 in a major.
Yeah, I think Hatton probably has a little better odds, but I would probably say over, knowing that. You know what I thought it was? I thought it was going to be the number of cuts that Peter Malnati makes this year. So I was taking the under 1.5.
And to Byron's point, Patrick Reed isn't a live golfer anymore, so we can't include him in the top 10.
Boom, got him.
Boom, I know, we got you, Byron. I know. He's playing in your South African Open next week, so you can root for him as much as you want. But so the next 1.5 tying to Cam Smith, I'll just let you know what it was. It was over under 1.5 cuts Cam Smith makes at majors.
Oh, yes. Also, we're waiting on 3 for an Albatross. I jumped right back into another one because that one we ripped it. It went fast, but
that's fine. Yeah,
we'll see.
But we got time. Yeah, we got time.
If you said has left the chat, yeah, that was the door closing that I just heard. You said 1.5 for what?
Cuts that Cam Smith makes, because he missed all the cuts last year, and I think he only made 1 in 2024. I think, 2020, 2024. So he's only made like
You're
one of
trying
the
to make me
last.
feel bad about my exposure to Cam Smith right now, and it's
Well, yeah,
working.
he's been playing better golf on Live, but even
I've said
better golf.
over. I think he makes all of the cuts.
All the cuts. Okay, so then we got to be taking Cam Smith higher then.
Yeah, higher for sure.
Okay, all right. Well, then now I know I got to get more Cam Smith exposure. We all know this. Okay, over under 60.5.
Over under 60.5. It's somebody's round. Can they go low? I'm gonna say over.
Okay, so this is actually Adam Scott's OWGR at the U.S. Open cutoff date
Oh, oh,
because you need to be top 60 to get in the U.S. Open, and
that's right.
that's a very questionable number if he's going to hit, and it's significant because that will be his 100th straight major.
Oh, we did. I think you might have said that in the chat at one point because
Yeah.
someone put that on my radar. I've definitely been hearing that around. I've got one for you in the same vein.
Okay.
Um, I guess it would be over under 60.5 to you.
That'd be probably Ha Tong Lee. I'd say over.
Damn, it's actually Jordan Spieth
Oh, okay. I was thinking Ha Tong Lee. Okay.
because we know Spieth needs
Yeah, that's the only one he's not in, right?
for his career Grand Slam, right? I'm almost certain, right? That's the one he's
Yeah,
not in.
I believe he's in all. I believe he's in three of the four, and then he has to get inside the top 60 to get into the U.S. Open. Yeah, which is why that's kind of the reason why I've been not clicking Spieth because he's still going into the 30s, right?
Let's go look at the ADP. We'll track
Yeah,
him.
yeah, yeah,
And I'm a sucker for Texas Longhorns, and I've always loved Spieth. He started off 32, popped up to high 20s. He's still in the low 30s. He has not moved at all. He's been like one of the
yeah.
flattest players.
Yeah,
And
that's
he's
so.
not going to fall because he's not going to fall because the name brand value,
Yeah,
and he's not going to rise because people still know better than to like chase, right?
yeah. Like for me, I would rather have Jacob Bridgman because I'm confident he'll be in all four of the majors. Nothing
Yeah.
against Spieth, but like if I'm drafting a majors best ball team, I want as many guys in all four as possible.
I think there's some truth to that. Let me throw this out for you. If you had to pick a golfer for just the Masters and it's a head to head, and all you have is the information of today, right now,
Right.
Spieth or Bridgman.
Well, I mean, probably Spieth, right? So
And now let me throw that back because I think
yeah,
probably
yeah.
yes. Now, what about it's the Open and it's at Birkdale where Spieth won his Open? Would you take head to head Bridgman or Spieth?
Well, I'll tell you what, it would be a little bit dependent on how they're playing because the open courses tend to not be very long, and I believe Bridgman's not a long hitter, so the course would probably suit his game well. But if you're going off past history, I can see where you're going with that. You'd probably want to take Spieth.
So I like your Bridgman take. And I'm not saying Bridgman's a bad pick. I think
Yeah,
Bridgman's a
yeah, yeah.
great pick. But I think in this majors only format, it's like in my heart of hearts, do I think Spieth can redeem himself on the biggest stage? Yes, but at the same time, he does like to blow up. He
Yeah,
does
that's
like
true.
to go out in flames, right?
Yeah, and actually, now that we kind of got into it a little bit, I have another number for you here.
Okay, perfect.
It was the best major performer with an ADP currently over 50. I've already said mine. I do believe it's Jacob Bridgman, but who would be yours? And we can even go to like 60 and 70 if you want to.
Yeah, ADP off my head, ADP over 50.
Oh, we
Who
can
do I
look at it right
think?
here. It's right. It's on the screen, right?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I'll do ADP sort. I'll get to 50. Whoop, that was too fast. But I was going off. I mean, I've memorized the ADPs. I am the
Okay,
ADP.
yeah,
So I was going to go off my memory, but over 50. I mean, I don't hate Kurt Kitayama. I think he's a flashy, streaky kind of golfer.
yeah. Plus his
Good.
OWGR is high enough. He'll probably get in all of them. Same with Novak.
Yeah, same with Novak. I don't have as much confidence in Novak, but he can have little stretches. Um,
Let's
I
do
want to see
50 then
where Burns
60
can
and
rise up more.
all right. Well, we're gonna do best pick after 62. So I guess that's even after 50, you still like Thorbjornsen the best out of all of them.
No, I think I'm gonna stick with I know he's close to ADP, but I'm gonna stick with Kurt Kitayama for my over 50. I mean he's right there, but
Yeah.
I think that is
And,
I think
and I
he
don't
probably
disagree with Byron. I do like Ryan Fox. Just a little bit worried about the ADP getting near that top 50 because he's still got to get in the U.S. Open. But I do like Ryan Fox. He hits the ball a mile.
So for over 50, I'll take Kurt. For over 60, I'm cool with Thor Bjornsson. I want to see him do well in the other events to rise up
Yeah,
OWGR
because
and
right now
be
it's at
pretty good.
48 now, right? Or something. I know he fell after the AT&T
I
Pebble
think he's
Beach.
out. I think he's like, let's go look at it. I think he's like 51 or 52. No, he's 48. You're right.
Okay, yeah.
He's
So so
close though.
he
I'm worried about him falling back out.
yeah, because if like I said, if you could sneak your way in like 2 weeks before the Masters, it's a good place to be because you'll probably get into the first three. But it's a little bit sketchy up until then, because like I said,
I
there's gonna
like
be
Sam
people moving in
Stevens in
and
this
out.
range too. I like Sam Stevens.
I no, I love Sam Stevens. He should
Yeah,
get in all four. I think he's number 40 in the world right now. That's honestly, I think that's secure enough to where he's going to get in all four.
I think so too. Who do you? I'll throw it to you. Who do you like over? And I don't know why Bezadenhout is getting
So
drafted in
first
like
of all, yeah,
almost.
Zalatoris should not be drafted at all. He's not going to
Yeah,
play a
it's
single major
amazing.
this year.
Who do you like over 70 for finishing place?
Yeah, so we talked about Brennan, him getting in the probably the first three. I believe the guest who was Skyhook, he mentioned Johnny Kiefer. He'll get in the first three.
Mm-hmm.
So Kiefer's a solid bet. I do like Jaden Shaper just because like I think he was top 40 in data golf, and if I was a betting man, I'd say he's going to definitely be in the PGA and the Open Championship, and so that's encouraging because that's where the money is. But I would say who is, and for me, like what I would do is I would try to track. So I'll tell you what, this is a strategy I implement. I'm going to give away some of my secrets.
Okay.
Me personally, I think the best time to draft is Sunday night because OWGR is updated, but ADPs haven't.
Mm,
So you can really get some good deals. So that's a little trick I like to implement.
okay.
So in terms of like, people who could potentially rise, if you wait until Sunday night, you could grab those guys before they rise.
I like that. Yeah, that's some good. That's some good insider knowledge there. Very sharp. I don't know who I like over 70. Uh, I think like going out on a limb and just being a little bit more of a hot take. It's like Horschel
Yeah,
or
yeah. There's like for me, I just try to get guys who I'm confident
Nico.
will get in the majors. Yeah.
And I don't think. I mean, I want to see Nico get into more majors, but if Nico rises and gets into more of the majors, like I think he could be fine. I think he's a decent talent.
No, I agree. I like Nico from a talent standpoint. He's just got to get in the Masters. If he did, like I said, I think Nico is someone who could be 10% drafted. Because if he gets in, because he's not in the Arnold Palmer, if he gets in, it'll probably be through his performances at like the COG and like Houston Open and Valspar. And he could do good in those, but also that means he'll rise so late, almost no one will have him. So I like Nico as a potential late entry into the Masters where he's very low owned.
Definitely. So we're still waiting on 3 for this Albatross, but um before I forget. One thing I can also do with the data that I've tracked, as we get closer to the Masters, I can set up some formulas. I can do a little bit of math here. I should be able to estimate um percent drafted to a certain time in the tournament. So like if we're like 1 week
Yeah.
before the Masters and I have all these weeks tracked, I should be able to give a confidence of this player goes in 100% of drafts, this player goes in 50% of drafts for like every player in the like in
Right.
this. So I think, and I could do it now, but it's still so far out, it doesn't really matter as much.
Yeah, it's
But like
still. I think
once
it's a
we get
contest only
within
like
like
20% filled.
like
Yeah.
T minus like a month until the Masters, T minus like 2 weeks, I'm gonna start doing that, and then we can start to leverage like, okay, here's a player who is now should be in all 4 events or is now going to be in like more events than we ever thought. He's only been drafted in 10% of the drafts and it's like 70% filled. So it's
Hmm.
like that's a guy we're going to hammer right in like the last
Yeah.
round.
Yeah. Maybe not in terms of the rapid OWGR rise, but in terms of percent drafted, I definitely think Nico Echeverria is probably the most likely candidate, just because Pearson, Coody, and Knapp have already risen so much. So
Yeah.
like, there's really at this point they're both probably going to be 75% drafted, so there's not really too much advantage in terms of drafting them later in the cycle. If you want those guys who just aren't getting taken at all, and Nico is definitely the kind of the criteria right now. And I think that's partially a reflection on the field being a little bit sharper this year. The fact that you were able to get Spawn for free like basically all of last year, and he even before he won the U.S. Open, he still worked his way inside the top 20 in OWGR, and almost no one was taking him.
Yeah,
So there's definitely going to be, like I said, you don't really see that this year because those guys who've been playing well, their ADPs are rising. So
that's so true. Yeah, it's a great take. So we've waited on two for an Albatross. We'll see if it fills. Let's go
mhm.
ahead and like kind of switch gears a little bit and jump into some prep for Riv. What do you say? Sound good?
Yeah, and I got a good Riv story. We could do a little course preview of the Riv.
Yeah. What do you got
Yeah,
for the Riv story?
want to clear the air on something that annoys me. So, for those of you who are not aware, I used to live in Kenya. I even have this is also a true story, but very weird. I'm also kind of the unofficial ambassador for the sport of disc golf in Kenya. So I even have my Kenya disc right here.
Impressive.
So yeah, very very weird life I've lived. I'm aware. So the Kenya so Riviera they get their grass from Kenya, but everyone in America says the grass name wrong. So basically, the story behind the Kikuyu grass is that it's from Kenya via Australia, and Australians they talk with like a little twang, so they say like "good eye, mate," like that. So that's why everyone says Kikuya because they got it from Australia, and Australians talk with that little accent, right?
Sure.
So when you hear them say Kikuya on the broadcast every 5 minutes, just know that that's not correct. It's actually Kikuyu.
Cool. You.
Yeah, Kikuyu. So it's a Bantu language. In Bantu languages, the words are pronounced exactly as they're spelled. So it's Kikuyu. It's Kikuyu.
Interesting. Wow. Wow. That's impressive. The announcers will never get that right because
Nope.
do
And
you
it's going to
remember
annoy me
when
all weekend.
we were at Pebble Beach in Monterey, the Monterey area, and I remember on it was a Thursday or Friday, they're doing this like aerial shot of the bay, and they're showing a sea otter, which is Monterey Bay is famous for their sea otters, right? It's very
Yeah.
obvious what a sea otter is. And the broadcast team, I don't remember which two guys that it was, but I'm listening in, I'm multitasking, and they go, look at, but I could see, I knew it was a sea otter, I just glanced over, obvious. They go, look at that. Do you think it's a seal or a sea lion? Well, the seals, don't have ears and the sea lions do, or like, vice, whatever the thing is that's like, it's neither.
Yeah.
It's a
It's a
sea
sea
otter. It's
otter.
not a seal or a sea lion. I was like, so if they can't even get animals correct, like on site, which like my 3-year-old daughter could get right, like there's no
Yeah. I
chance
mean,
they're gonna
they're
pronounce
probably showing pictures of the sea. They're probably showing the sea otter and being like, "Hey, look, it's Peter Malnati." It's like, wow, wow, you guys couldn't be off more off base here. Wow.
when in doubt, it is just always Peter Malnati. That's
It's
so
just
good.
always Peter Malnati. To talk about one of the most random people to have a full PGA Tour card still, that's probably him.
I mean, that's what happens when you win on the tour. You stick around,
You could,
right?
yeah, because how do you even get into that tournament? Because he wasn't even a full-time member when he won that. Well, another weird winner was Bryce Garnett, but at least he knows he can't compete, so he doesn't still play.
Mm,
But
mm.
yeah, Peter Malnati's still showing up. It's like, hey, I like to miss cuts too, So
Incredible. Greg Ducharme puts out a Twitter thread every week. I think it'd be fun just to dip into it,
yeah, let's do it.
kind of skim through as we do, see if there's any stats, trends, favorite plays. So just a little quick, jump through. So the iconic Riviera, you know, the hole number 10, right? When you're coming around the turn, it's that par 4 that it's like less than 300 yards, right? It's like very
Mhm.
short. That's iconic. It's one of those holes that challenging. I've heard a lot about people talking about it, remembering back over the years. The fairways are hard to hit. Um, they're top 10 on tour each of the last 5 seasons. Okay, so guys are going to miss some fairways. Even the winners will struggle on the fairways. That's all right. And the Kikuyu rough is only
There we
expected to
go.
be 2-inch in length. So you can miss the fairway here. That's all right. I'll try to keep it on the page. The greens are relatively big, especially coming off last week, but they're tough to hit. Okay, so we need guys who are accurate, and it's hard to hit the greens. It's hard to hit it close. He says half the approach shots are coming from 150 to 200, as opposed to last week, half of them were coming like less than 150. So it's a further approach shot.
Yeah.
Very few wedge. We need some strong iron players, I think.
It's funny that you mentioned strong iron players because I believe JJ Spawn led the PGA Tour in strokes gained through long approach, like
Mm.
150 to 200, which is why he
Oh,
did so well last year.
okay.
If you're looking for a bounce back week, Spawn is interesting. Like I said,
Yeah.
Morikawa is famous for his irons.
Yes.
A lot of people are going to be off Spawn from what it sounds like. And you mentioned long irons being important. He's from LA, so this could be a good week for Spawn.
I love that shout, and he's pretty cheap in the Underdog Open
Yeah,
in
I think
Battle
I think
Royale.
on the Badge Bros draft, he went in like the fifth round. That does
He
seem a
is.
little bit too excessive.
Yeah, he is going pretty late, so we'll keep that in mind. We might be able to get him on a bunch of our teams, load up on some Spawn this week. I like that shout. Um, if you miss the greens, which people commonly do here, the short game's crucial. So around the greens, pretty important, I think. That's
So then
kind
we
of where I'm
probably want to be
sitting
off Hovland since that's always been his weakness.
Yeah, some scrambling around the green. I said Adam Scott hit the most greens of the last 5 winners. He hit 52 out of 72. That's pretty good number for a place like
Yeah.
this. What else do we got? There's a lot of sand around the greens, so you got to be good at sand saves potentially.
I'm trying to think just off the top of my head. I believe Batia is a good sand saver, right? That's probably why I did go to Pebble.
Yeah. Who else we got? What else? So it's not the most difficult course on the tour. There's scoring opportunities. The 3 par 5s are some of the easiest on the tour. So we need guys who can get the eagles, those par 5s who can score low on those holes is important. But one of the things Greg points out, the recent winners have gotten the job done in different ways, but the through line seems to be tee to green play. So the last,
Actually, from my analyzing, just I always say like if you want to know who the winner of these golf tournaments are going to be, show me who's in the top 5 of strokes gained tee to green because the one stat that's the most congested in terms of pretty much every pro is about the same is putting. So
sure,
the gap in putting and the gap in ball striking is significantly different. So if you want to, like I said, strokes gained tee to green is so important because typically the people who are winning are the ones who are getting it closest to the pin, since everyone's putting statistics are pretty similar.
you know what this makes me think of? Potentially a Siwoo Kim week, good tee to green.
Yeah. Well, Colin Morikawa, he won last week and he lost strokes putting. So
Incredible.
yeah, I know he's never been a good putter though. So, but yeah, no. So you mentioned that, yeah. Maybe since strokes gained tee to green is so important, Morikawa is probably a pretty solid bet again.
And then Hideki's been kind of struggling off the tee box.
Mm.
Um, but he's had a strong start to the year. Greg's pointing out Hideki, who's priced up pretty high for DFS, driving okay at Pebble. He's a great option here. He's gained 2+ strokes approaching the greens in his last 4 starts. And around the green, he's gaining strokes, and he's actually putting well here too. So just good course history for Hideki. Obviously, he won this event the last time they played it at
Yeah.
Riv. I am using Hideki in one of my one and dones this week. I think I've
Okay.
got 3 one and dones, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to go uh, Hideki, McNeely, and and Fleetwood. I think is who I'm using.
As I said, use more. I would say those are fine. Yeah, Hideki's usually. Ooh, man. It's yeah, because if he can't hit a fairway, Hideki, because remember he couldn't hit a fairway in Phoenix. So
Mm-hmm.
like I said,
Mm-hmm.
it's like I said, those are great golfers, but I would worry about Hideki just hitting fairways in this stick of Kuyu rough. So
You think maybe going back to Colin the week after he just won is
well, I mean, we mentioned strokes gained tee to green, and there's been no better golfer with his irons, but a lot of people don't like going with a guy after he won, which makes sense. But I mean, we just talked about what does well at this course, and it is his game, strokes gained tee to green, and he can't putt to save his life.
interesting. Yeah, I'll think about it tonight.
Like I said, yeah, I don't do any one and dones just because I like to set my lineup and forget it.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say Hideki, I was gonna say he's a great golfer. I'm not sure if this is gonna be the best course fit for him. That's all.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And Patrick Cantlay is another name that comes up quietly a nice year. He's kind of overdue. He's overdue to win a signature event. I know that Rick Gaiman posted out a chart that I had liked earlier, where I think that was actually in his newsletter. Cantlay is the guy who's had the best finishes in a signature event without winning one. He's one of the last remaining guys in like the top 10 guys with the best performances at signature events, based on consistency. And I think top 25 finishes or maybe top 10 finishes, whatever it was. But Cantlay seems due for a win at a Siggy. So like he could be one, and he's a little
Yeah,
bit,
good
he's not a
shout.
sexy pick, so I think he's a good value potentially.
Yeah. Well, actually, we were just talking about Spawn. I think this could be a good spot for Spawn on a one and done.
That's not a bad shout. And he's
Yeah, actually,
definitely not heavily used because no one has
no.
faith in him right now.
Everyone hates him. Yeah, everyone hates him. And this is actually, like I said, I think he was first in strokes gained approach with the long irons on the PGA Tour last year. So, and he's from LA, so he's probably played this course a ton.
That's a good shout. I like that one. I might have to change my mind. And maybe Hideki. Maybe I kind of wait on that one. Cam Young here, he plays well at Riv, gained at least 6 strokes ball striking in all 3 of his trips here. His best finish was a tied for second. His worst was a tied for 20, but he's not really playing great lately. So that's kind of a,
Yeah, the recent form has me kind of off the gas pedal with Cam Young.
you got to weight those things a little bit, right? Jake Knapp. Everyone loves Jake Knapp. He's going in like the first or second round of these battle royales because people are just, they're just
Yeah,
cheap.
he's really flying up the board. Yeah, people love to love Jake Knapp. Like I said, in the battle royales, it doesn't really matter too much. But I'm actually pretty surprised to see he's already going in the 40s and on the Albatross. He's not. He's technically not in any of the majors right now, which is why it's a little bit surprising.
He's technically not in any, not on pace to be in
Probably
the
will
Masters,
get in them, yes,
probably
but
more.
technically no.
And then he's on track to be in the other 3. But yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying. Fitzpatrick. Always a good name, so there's nothing much there. But yeah, incredible stuff. Always fun just to read through a little bit from Greg and how he previews what's going on. I'm gonna probably put us in the corner here. I know it's blinding because we're going from dark mode to light mode.
That's
So
okay. I'm
first,
on
position
timeout,
this
so
way, boom, like this, and then I'm gonna bring up this, and I think I'm gonna move us. Let me do a little bit of camera magic. Maybe we go down here. That's
okay,
not the
cool.
worst place to be.
No,
I think this could work. Let me get rid of this banner. So this is from Rick Rungood. This is his tournament predictor, and it's sorted by percent chance to win, which I think is what we want to be going for. There
yeah,
is a cut this week, so that is part of the consideration when drafting these battle royales, the Underdog Open. You're gonna have to draft 6 golfers, and you're not gonna win this unless all 6 make the cut. And you probably also want to have the winner, and then you're going to want to have a couple other guys who surprise to some upside. And I don't know that you have to always scroll down because you can get a little different that way, but I think there's also just some like best plays. And so when I look at this and I look at the 10,000 simulations, the field of 72 golfers, and the percent chance to win, I have seen some things week over week that I know it's a little bit weighted to some maybe conditions. Like Henley gets a huge, so let me zoom in just a bit if I can on this. I forget if it zooms. Does it actually zoom a little bit? No, it doesn't really zoom. So it scales to fit. But Henley's at 5% chance to win. That means in 10,000 sims, he's going to be winning about 534 of them. Scheffler's at 23.35. So out of the 10,000 sims, he wins 2,335. And that's just not even comprehensible to me.
yeah. You know what's crazy? On Data Golf, Scotty Scheffler is averaging a stroke and a half better per round than the second best player in the world, which on Data Golf is Rahm. That's kind of nuts to me.
It's insane. It's
Yeah.
literally insane. But so obviously Scotty Scheffler 101 is just the thing. But after this, it's like Henley seems like just a good pick, a chance to win. Obviously, we know Rory, Rose. I think McNeely's interesting. He kind of pops here. Hideki, another one, just a strong golfer. And some of these are the higher salary guys, but I'm going to scroll down just a bit. Corey Connors has been suiting
Honors,
out
yeah.
very
You
nicely.
know, he is historically a great ball striker. It's a pretty solid shout. He's been having a horrible year, which so a lot of people are going to be off Corey Connors. He's actually not a bad pick in the dailies because yeah, he's historically a great ball striker. That makes sense.
And I took a bunch of Corey Connors last week, and I forget where he finished. He's been a
It
little
was like
underwhelming.
it was like what in this I think it was like in the 70s. He was awful last year. I mean, he was awful
Connors,
last week.
yeah, Connors has been a little underwhelming to start the season, so I'm just popping over here. We know he's a good golfer,
Yeah,
um,
he can get it
but
together.
he's trending downward in his last 25 starts. Yeah, 70 cut and only 24 at Sony after getting 7 at the Hero World Challenge, which
Well,
is
there's only 20 in that event. I mean,
yeah,
I kind of wish I could get invited to that so I could be top 20 in a prestigious golf tournament. So,
yeah. I
all right,
knew you were gonna
just
say that, but still,
yeah. So six. All right, sixth spot. That's what we got here. Yeah. So for me, there's a clear top six. I say we take whoever is left of that clear top six, and then from
okay.
there, I'd probably go Hideki.
Yeah, this is an Albatross that we were waiting to fill. We jumped right back into another season-long majors only best ball here on Underdog. And we got Hartman in the 4 spot. We're in the 6, 7. And yeah, so I'll sort it by ADP. I'll sort it by the ranks. We can do whatever. You're saying
Yeah, for me, there's a clear top six. It doesn't matter what order you put that top six in. And
Hideki
then
went
after that,
3.
what? Okay, well that means we're gonna take two of the top six, so that's fine with me.
Love
So
it.
that means we're probably gonna get. Like I said, it doesn't matter who we get, in my opinion. Like I
There's
said,
always a chance that this late at night, people think they're drafting like
so
a battle
it's gonna
royale.
be what Fleetwood, Shoffley, or DeChambeau. Whoever's left of those two, just take the two.
No doubt.
Unless this guy does something crazy too.
He goes Fleetwood. That's kind of what I
Yeah,
expected.
yeah. There we go. There we go. Bryson
So
Xander, happy with that.
Bryson Xander is very strong. Do you have any reservations on Bryson or no, not at all?
No, I actually have him, and you're gonna hate me. I have him ranked ahead of Xander actually,
I think
just
that's fair.
because. Yeah, just because like in the Ryder Cup, only Scotty and Bryson were the only two to play 5 events, 5 rounds, and I think it's because Keegan kind of knows that those are the best two American golfers, and it's Xander's kind of not been the same since his rib injury.
Mhm.
So I would typically, like I said, I wouldn't go too crazy. I'd still take Xander ahead just because. Well, actually, no, their ADPs have flipped. Actually, I believe it's now Bryson ahead of Xander. But
Yeah. No, Xander's been falling.
yeah, yeah. But anyway, those are still the top six for me. I have no problem with it. I would probably put Bryson ahead of Xander. I think that's correct.
Okay. What about Oberg?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't take him till like the fourth round.
He's so overpriced, and I don't know what the factor is that people are waiting to draft him so highly. I want to have more than no Oberg, but I just never draft him.
Yeah, I have a God. His A- his ADP has been falling, but the thing about with 20-second clocks is now you have auto picks, so the ADP doesn't fall as quickly.
Yeah.
So he literally may not even get to like the fourth round before this tournament closes. So I don't know. I'm not even sure if he might not even get to the third round with how slow he's been falling. I mean, honestly, look where Neiman should be going undrafted, and he still gets taken in 100% of these.
I completely agree. The players don't fall fast enough because of the auto drafting or the
Hmm.
ranks that are set, and then they don't update their ranks when things change or new information or whatever it is. If they don't have ranks, they're just kind of going off ADP, like you said.
Yeah, so I don't think he's going to fall that far, but you're right. Maybe I'll take him on like a Rory team just to balance everything out. If he
Mhm.
falls a little bit more, yeah, he's probably. I don't know. I don't think he'll get to the third round. Like I said, these ADPs just don't adjust quickly enough on the downside. But I wouldn't take him. Like I said, I would wait to take him in the third round just so I have some of them. But that would still be a little bit too expensive for me at that
I
price. But I would
know.
still want some of them.
Right. And then we've had other risers like, and Goddard's gonna get. He can go anywhere in these drafts. I've seen him go in the first round. I've seen him go in the second since his 2 wins. But there's guys like Goddard and Siwoo Kim who have just started so hot to the season, like the beginning, but like somehow Oberg still goes ahead of him.
Yeah, I don't get it. Well, there goes Spawn. I guess Hartman heard us talking about Spawn.
Yeah,
um,
Cam or Spawn, not Spawn. Okay.
Ben Griffin.
Yeah, Ben Griffin was
I'm still a believer. And then, honestly, let's do Colin. Let's do Colin.
yeah, I like that. Collins, one of my top 5 most owned players,
I
and
mean, yeah, Colin can't putt to save his life, but I think he has I think he's good enough to get it done elsewhere.
love it. I was hammering Colin before the win at Pebble, and to me, he hasn't necessarily even risen enough because he was going, and I'll pop over to the data just so I mean, I'm pretty much have it memorized, but he was going in like, yeah, the 20s. He started off at 31. I was hammering him then. Then he
Yeah,
was
that's
going in the
nice.
early 20s, hammering him there. He fell all the way to 23 before he won last week. He's only risen up to pick 20. Like here we take him at
You know what's
19.
crazy is like I said, I was taking Justin Rose in the fourth round. I remember you did a stream. You took Justin Rose in the fifth round, and now he's going in like the late early third. Like, and then Chris Gotterup rises a ton. I think didn't Gotterup open in like the 40s? Like there's some guys.
So you're gonna hate this. I mean, unless you got some, and I have some teams with Goddard up this late. Let me scroll up. He's way up here now. Goddard up. Oh no, sorry. I was thinking of probably another format like the scramble.
Okay.
He started at 28, so honestly, not
Okay, that's and not too notable then. But so
but
yeah.
still big. I mean, he's gone from 28 to
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, he shot up so quick.
Who
Yeah,
am I
no.
thinking of? Somebody started off so Siwu is around 34. Who am I thinking of that rose the
Patrick Reed,
most?
maybe.
Yeah, I guess it's just Reed is who I was thinking of because he went from 49
Okay.
to the 20s, and I think this is a good price for him, but he could still rise more.
Yeah. Okay. Let's. It's probably coming up to our pick here, right?
Yeah, we're on the
Yeah.
clock.
Let's see who's
Reed goes
available.
right
Wow,
before us. So does
Reed
Bradley.
fell that far. Wow, that's shocking. Oh yeah, Harris English will be one of them. Um,
Yeah,
I'll still take Sep here. I'm a believer. I think
we can get some
Sep's a
Sep.
good pick.
We can get some Sep. Sep
Yeah,
over McNeely.
yeah, because Sep's shown pretty well the last 2 weeks. Um,
Yeah,
like I said,
tied for
I
two.
think Sep's still the better golfer. Yeah. 'Cause remember,
Yeah,
we want for these majors, we want the most top-heavy teams possible.
wasn't it? So
So
it was the Truist last year that Sep won, wasn't it?
no, it was the American Express and was it true? He did win a signature event last year.
I,
What
I,
was it
I
the
get that one
Truist?
confused. Was it the Truist? I get it confused because it's not. It wasn't the.
I don't remember which one he won. I know he won a signature event. I don't remember which one though.
It's the name. It's escaping me, so I have to look it up now. But
Okay.
I thought I had just because I was correcting myself because yeah, the Truist. Okay, so yeah,
Okay. Okay.
of course, the American Express, and then the Truist, which came a little bit later in the season, here right before the PGA where he got cut, which is a
So
big
basically, he
bummer.
also has a better track record than McNeely because McNeely only won a fall event, and which is still a win, but like it's kind of a weakened field in a fall event, you know.
In the last 25 starts, look at all these finishes. Won the American Express, T7 at Pebble Beach, and then a T2 at Pebble Beach the next
Yeah,
year.
he's got it in him. He's got that dog in him. You know, I know he lost his form a little bit toward the end of the year, which is why people are down on him. But I mean, like I said, I'm willing to bet on the guy who's basically showed elite golf within the last year. You know.
A T5 at the API, a 3 at Memorial Tournament. Like he shows out in strong fields. 7th at the
Yeah.
Scottish Open,
Yeah.
3rd at the Hero. So like in some of the tough fields.
Yeah, I would have a lot more confidence in Sepp than McNeely. Nothing against McNeely. I think he's a great golfer, but yeah, like I said, I think if you're going to go top heavy, he's your best bet. You know, let's have fun. Let's take Cam Smith, and then let's pretend like. And then I'm going to take a shower after this to feel better about myself.
Uh,
Um,
this is pick 42 and 43.
yeah, let's scroll down a little bit. Let's see who's there. Yeah, let's see.
This is by ADP.
Yeah. Oh, let see if there's anyone that jumps out. Not really. We could go back up. We could take Wyndham. I'm fine with Wyndham.
I think
Just because he's a top name on ADP, he should get into all. Yeah, you know, he won the U.S. Open. He'll get into all 4 of them.
he's in all of the events. At least it's past ADP. I don't think there's a problem with sprinkling in some Wyndham Clark.
Yeah.
Did you see the clip of Hovland throwing his umbrella into the tree last week at Pebble Beach to get his ball out?
I did not know. I think I saw something on like Facebook about like an article about that, but I didn't watch the video or anything.
He's just I forget exactly which hole it was, but and I'm assuming it was Sunday. And because was it Sunday? There was a little. It was just the wind, right? But there's a lot of wind Saturday to end the day. Was there any rain at all? I can't remember. Was there rain?
In Pebble Beach,
I
or
don't think
was
there
it?
was, right?
Okay. not sure. I think it rained on and off. I'm not, but it wasn't
Because it
consistent.
felt like I feel like I don't remember the rain, but
Wow. So Heath in the 8th round.
it's
Is that
wild.
that can't be where his ADP is now, right? That can't be.
No, so Heath's ADP, and I'm gonna scroll back to the sheet. It's about in the mid 50s, and that's like
That's still aggressive.
high. He's
He's not
high.
even on pace to get. Yeah, he's not even on pace to get in the Masters. That's
I
really
know.
aggressive. So Neiman will probably get taken at some point. Oh, so
Look
anyway,
at
this is kind of
Minwoo Lee going at 37.
he's out of the top 50 now. That's I don't even think Minwoo Lee. He's in the Masters,
No,
but he's out of the top
I
50.
think he's in the top 50. I thought he was
Oh, he
around
just fell out. He just fell
30.
out.
He just fell out.
Oh no, did he? No. He's been doing good. I think he started outside and now he's inside. That's what it
Yeah.
was.
So you're right.
Yeah.
Last
Okay.
week,
So he's not in. Okay, I had it backwards. He's not in any of them now, but he will get in. Okay, so I had it backwards.
he was borderline, and then he fell out last week, and then he finished well at Pebble, and he's 31st
Okay.
right now.
Okay. Yeah. So I was just a week off, but I was kind of close.
Yeah.
Okay.
Recent
Let's
stuff.
see who's available here.
I think he's getting
Wow.
overdrafted a little bit.
Finau, he's not going to play them. He's going to play. Man, those are some bad picks. I love to see it. Yeah, any of those top three are great. Kitayama, Fox. Let's give Byron a shout. Let's go with Fox because he liked Fox. I like that.
Okay.
Those are both great. Yeah, Kitayama and Fox because Kitayama is not a long hitter and Fox hits the ball a mile, so it kind of balances the two out.
Perfect. Boom. So that's our round 9 and 10 picks. So to start our team, we have Bryson, Xander, Ben Griffin, Colin Morikawa, recent winner at Pebble Beach, Harris English, Sepp Straka, the striker, he stripes it, Sepp stripes it, Cam Smith, who's going to make more than 1.5 cuts, Wyndham Clark, Kurt Kitayama, and Ryan Fox.
I'll say this because there's been so many bad picks. We're probably going to get 12 guys who have a good shot at getting into all 4 majors.
100%. I mean, Patrick Rogers. He's on like my bubble watch, but I'm not drafting Patrick Rogers right now.
This is why drafting early can be so great.
The guy who drafts Neiman also drafts Denny, and Denny's only in the PGA.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna get 12 in all the majors, which I'd love to see.
We don't have to scroll at all. We just need to take the best.
No, we don't. No.
Homa just went.
We love to see this. Yeah, let's just pull up the draft board, scoop the value on Neiman, even though he'll play 1 major. Yeah, that's the way to go.
It's gonna bite us in the ass when Neiman's the top player on Live and he gets into all of them.
It's still he hasn't even. I don't think he's got a top. He doesn't have a top 10 on Live yet, so I don't think he'll get in through Live. Because last year he won 4 of the first 6, so it was like a guarantee. Yeah, so this year it's going to be totally different. He's not getting in. Let's just star a bunch of names that'll get in. McCarty is good. Wrighton's good. Those should get in all 4. We just took Brennan. We don't need to take Brennan. We can start Shaper. Let's just do McCarty and Wrighton. They're pretty much guaranteed to be in all. They're very likely to get in all 4. I just take the guys who are likely to get in all 4. That's McCarty and Wrighton. And that kind of just goes with my prophecy of if you have people drafting terrible golfers who have no chance to get in even 2 of these majors, you're gonna have probably 12 that have a good chance of getting in all 4, and that's basically what we have here, which is what I like to see.
No doubt, and it's gonna help us to get out of this pod where the advanced structure for this tournament is 1-6, 1-5, 1-5, 200-seat final. So we have some help getting
more chances to beat Scotty teams, which is important.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say is if you have any chance of getting through without Scotty, because here's the thing. If Scotty doesn't win the Open, if somebody else in the first round or second round does win the Open, you still have to get to the Open to have that player who's not Scotty, especially if they're a first, if John Rahm or let's just say Fleetwood wins the Open, you're going to have them to win this whole tournament. And you're probably going to lose to the Scotty Scheffler team in your first pod if you don't have them.
I'll say this. I noticed this in the scramble and definitely to a certain extent, not as much though, the Albatross. I see a lot of bad Scotty teams. So I think even if you don't get a Scotty team, you're still not dead to not advance. Right. I mean, I saw some bad picks from this guy. Yeah, he took Homa and Finau.
Cam Davis.
Yeah, this guy's really drawing pretty thin here. Well, Cam Davis is in the Masters because he finished top 5 at the PGA, but that's still a pretty thin
I
bet. I
think
mean, I
Cam
would
Davis
bet,
is in 2 out of the 4.
yeah, he'll be in the PGA, and because he got in, because remember that top 5. But yeah, no, like I said, that's still a really thin bet. I would imagine he probably gets cut at the
Honestly, I
Masters.
like his Cam Davis pick better than his Homa and his Finau picks.
Yeah, because Homa's going to get in the Masters and nothing else. And
Cam Davis is a nice scroll. And if something turns around, we're not expecting like we're gonna be like Cam
yeah,
Davis
but
historically
this
been a
was such a
draftable
wide
player.
open board. There's so many better picks. Yeah. But yeah, Cam Davis is solid though. He's just his OWGR is so low. He's just got no chance getting in any of the majors. We should have done a team review for Hartman. He
Oh,
would
let's still do it.
he
I
was
mean,
in
we're
back.
waiting on 2 here, and we can
All
we
right,
can
let's do a team review. Yeah, since we're if I'm in the because I know from personal experience, if I'm in the draft room, I want the team review. Sauce my team.
Mm,
Let's see where Hartman's at.
I
Hartman, he's
I
been
don't
watching,
traditionally
so
do a
he's
lot of
been
team
taking.
reviews, but
Well, we know we know Hartman's taking good picks. He's listening to us,
I know
so
Hartman he deserves the team review. So we're gonna get Jeff T is gonna give Hartman a how does he get to the finals and how does he win team review. Let me zoom out a little bit.
I'll tell you what. Right now, Hartman, I'm gonna guess Spawn would have been there for you in the 4th round because we weren't gonna take him. So, but Spawn is a fine pick. I think. Yeah, I'll tell you what. His ADP is now fallen to the 4th round. I think it opened in the 2nd round.
Yes.
I definitely don't mind the pick. I think you could have probably got him a little bit cheaper. But Sam Burns is a fine. Oh yeah, swap him. Look, Sam Burns. So it's basically ADP agnostic, so it's perfectly fine. Keegan Bradley, Corey Connors, Harry Hall, Bridgman, Nick Taylor, Marco. Yeah, so basically he's got all guys. Kiefer's probably going to get in 3 of the 4. That's great. I mean, he's basically his entire roster is going to be in every major, which is what you want, especially in a room like this where you have so many guys taking players who aren't going to be in probably even 3 of the 4.
I love it. So I joined an Underdog Open. It's starting in 15 seconds.
All right, let's rock and
In
roll.
15 seconds, tell us how this team gets to the finals and how it wins the finals.
Oh, so Hartman's team. Let's see here. John Rahm goes Rombo, just straight up wins all 4, and then Spawn finishes second. Okay, we're having fun, right? So and
That's
then
the easy
Spawn.
answer, and that's the one we get because our draft is active and we need to make
Well,
a pick.
you said 15 seconds. That's all we had. Yeah,
Like John Rahm wins every major.
yeah, just do Fleetwood. I think Fleetwood's fine.
Okay. I think that's totally fine here. I'm potentially using Fleetwood in the one and done. This is the Underdog Open. We got Nez in the 1 spot. A bunch of other names I see all the time in these battle royales like Car Park,
And
Hot Scissors.
Nez is doing enough of these to where I know he won't waste the Scotty Scheffler team, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, he's not going to be flipping
He's
the
not.
board.
He's not going to take Max Homa, Tony Finau, and all these guys. Well, actually, Homa's does good here historically.
Yeah, true.
Don't worry, I sauced it, Hartman.
Yes. Yeah, Hartman's doing great.
Yeah, it was a good team. Like I said, you got so 12 times 4, that's 48. You probably got like at least if I had to guess like 45 to 48 majors covered. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Hartman's voting for some live supremacy in 2026 with the Rom 4.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Look, Goddard is going 7th in these. Like that's just to me. I love Goddard, but that is rich.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's number 5 in the world now. So, let's see here. Oh, man, I
think
Nap.
Nap is too expensive.
I like Henley. Oh, Siwoo's good. Yeah, Siwoo's good.
Or Henley. Do you want to go Henley or Siwoo?
Henley's been historically a lock for top 20s. Let's do Siwoo. Siwoo's been better tee to green this year.
Okay, I'm in. We talked about that, so I think that's a good reasoning.
Yeah, Nap's pretty rich. I don't know if I could do Nap in the second round.
Very rich for Nap, but
I mean, he's been having a great year, but that is still pretty rich. Siwoo and who's Hovland's terrible around the greens. Someone's got to be good. Honestly, Pearson Coody. Out of all the guys there, he's probably the best tee to green.
I like it. And
plus, we can scroll down a little. It's only a 1 tournament draft, so
yeah. No, we can start scrolling. I'm gonna flip back quickly to the Rick Run Good. I just want to see who popped for us. I remember we talked about somebody. It was Corey Connors.
Yeah, Corey Connors was a shocker. Yeah,
Who
but it
else we
makes
see?
sense.
There's Corey Connors. So we talked about Spawn. So Corey Connors and Spawn.
Yeah, what's
Nico
Spawn's
popped
ADP?
a little bit.
Oh yeah, honestly, I'd just take Spawn in the next round. He'll probably be there
Yeah, let's look at that because I know he does
because
go late, like
Nez
you
is
were
probably
saying.
Nez. Oh wow, 33. That's
It's almost
well,
undrafted. That
well
is
Nez
somewhat
Nez has got to
undrafted.
be watching, so he'll probably take Spawn on the wrap. God, these are some crazy ADPs. And who else is available? I know we're coming up. I mean, I do like McIntyre, but
He
let's
hasn't.
just do Spawn.
Yeah,
Let's
I like
just like I
McIntyre
said.
too, but what's he been up to lately?
Yeah, no, because yeah, like I said, Nez is probably watching. He's gonna snipe us on Spawn, so just take Spawn.
Shout out to Nez, great guy.
You got to be aware. You got to be aware of who's watching. Yeah, let's just do Spawn. I actually do like him this week.
And then, assuming we can get Corey Connors with the fifth, would you want to do that, or do you want to take a look at what else we can get around
Let's
here?
see what's top ADP. Oh, we only have 6 rounds, right? But yeah,
Yeah.
actually, Corey Connors in the fifth makes sense, and then we could scroll down. I like that.
Okay.
I
I have
don't know
a
if I
sneak.
do. I don't know if
So
I
let's
do
go Connors
Nico. I would
first.
actually probably do. I actually probably do Ryan Fox because he's a strokes gained tee to green monster
You
for the
want to go
last
Fox
round.
over Connors?
No, no, do Connors first.
Okay. Okay.
I'm talking like the last round since we're just scrolling.
And I forgot. I messed up our Albatross because I didn't have.
Oh, Peter Malnati, yeah, you ruined everything.
Wait, he's not in the field. I can't add
You
him to the
can't. You
queue.
can't. I know. Yeah.
Damn.
Let's take a look at who gains strokes tee to green. Actually, Hisatsune is having a good year.
Hisatsune is a fun shout.
Yeah, I actually wouldn't mind that. Let's see here. Probably let's scroll down a little bit. See if anyone hits the ball. Actually, kind of like Speed. I
You
kind
have
of
to
like
tell me
Speed.
twice. He's barely getting
Yeah.
drafted too. So,
Wow. Yes. Speed ahead of Fox. No, it's not Speed's right after Fox. But let's see here. This isn't a good week for Bridgman.
ooh,
I wouldn't say.
Hisatsune gets. I have seen Hisatsune get drafted in a lot of these, and I
Yeah.
took him in the 6th round in a draft I did on like Monday.
I'd do Speed over Fox actually if he's there.
Okay. Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Just because Speed has historically a better track
What
record. He's
about
also got off to
Adam
a better
Scott
start.
here, or his recent form's not
Yeah,
good?
but Adam Scott hit the most screens and regulations at this tournament last year. I think that's a solid shout.
And then
I'm
Speed's
cool with
go.
either one. Whichever one you think's best here.
No, I don't. I'll let you. You're the guest.
Let's take Brian Fox. Like I
Okay.
said, if we're gonna scroll, especially like in the battle royales, no one's gonna have a team like this where you have like 3 guys in the 30s. You know?
And then I'm just gonna flip to the board. So Keegan in the last round is actually pretty nice, and so is Adam Scott. So I
Yeah,
think there's some nice picks there. Look at the
yeah,
Ned team. He goes Scheffler, Young, Knapp, McIntyre, Ross, Scott. I mean, all of these teams look loaded because it's 6 rounds to me.
yeah. And like I said, I really like the way you built this because like ADPs, especially like they really don't matter that much. And
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I just think Spawn's undervalued anyway. So reaching ahead of him so Nez can't get him made sense in that spot. And yeah, like I said, I just like how it's unique because you're probably not going to see too many teams with 4 guys in the 30s in terms of their ADP. You know?
Yeah, yeah. I think that's. Um, I've been trying to figure out these battle royales a little bit. I'm using some of the Badge Bros battle royale logic that spans, the game theory of it,
Oh,
not
sweet.
sport necessarily, and so I'm trying to figure it out to some extent, but um I
Okay,
I
well,
I've had some of these teams I've drafted do well. Like last week I broke even, and I'm not doing, I've said it, I'm not doing like huge volume on the battle royales. I
right.
just do a sum to have some fun with it and
Yeah.
stay in the flow. And I think it is a fun contest to be, you draft
Yeah.
for
It
the whole
sounds like the
tournament.
battle royales are doing really well this year. So,
Yeah.
like I said, a lot of people are having fun with it, which is
It
great.
only it only takes one good finish. I mean, because this is a $10,000 top prize. So like
Right.
even getting in the top 10 with $1,000, like
Yeah,
that's
that's nice.
gonna cover a lot of bases.
Yeah, and like I said, you're going up against 11,000 people, and that's how you get unique is you take 3 guys with an ADP in the 30s. So I really like how we built that team.
And so here's what we do now. People, and this was mentioned on the Badge Bros stream earlier, when they draft Jokic or they draft Scotty Scheffler, they really try not to fumble the bag. But you should do
Yeah.
the opposite. You should get riskier when you have the best player already.
Yeah, well, like I said, we did do something similar in terms of taking three guys with an ADP of over 30. I think we can responsibly do that. So
Yeah, I think we'll mega mine it a little bit. We can pop over to the tournament predictor. One thing we could look at too, I can go to the course key stats. We already kind of know them. I wish I could do dark mode on this. I probably could if I opened it in my Comet browser instead of Chrome, but it's totally fine. Um, you know, let's see what that's putts made over. I had to hover. Putts made over 10 feet, but that's pretty hard to figure out who would be good at that. Otherwise, the strokes gained total, and then tee to green is popping. The birdie to bogey ratio always, so some similar metrics that typically pop. And then if we go here, this is golfers that fit. And one of the things that Greg was talking about, it was 150 to 150 plus on the approach. And this is overall approach, but maybe we just
because
focus in on one of them.
Is the approach numbers? Yeah, what is that? Okay.
Strokes.
I think it's do 175 to 200 if you can.
Yeah, let's do that one. You're right. Let's do a little bit further out.
It's a little bit longer, yeah.
Siwoo Kim?
Remember, so Spawn was up there. That makes sense. Because like I said, I believe 150, I don't know what these numbers are, but I believe 150 to 200, Spawn led the PGA Tour in strokes gained approach from 150 to 200, which is why it makes a lot of sense this week. Lowry's a good shout. Actually, Rico, I can't trust. Actually, putting doesn't matter this week. So Rico Hoey's a solid shout.
Whoops. I'm lost.
Yeah, actually, Rico. I don't know if I can
is
go
Rico in the field though? I don't remember. He is,
he's
right?
In the next 10. He's in the next 10.
Right, because that's why I was drafting him so much in the scramble, and I bet you he's not getting drafted at all in this.
No, I would take him in the last round though. But like I said, he has the potential to really pop at a course like this where putting doesn't matter as much.
Piece was, and then he switch putters or switch grips or something.
I'm not familiar with this game that much.
Didn't he?
I'm not familiar with this game enough to know. I just know he was like one of the worst putters the PGA Tour's ever seen last year. That's all I know.
I'm gonna pop over to his page to see if his putting has done better on Data Golf. So this is Rico.
It's our pick now, so we're gonna have to come back.
Yeah, we'll be fine. No, his putting has been terrible to start the season. He's lost strokes.
All right, so yeah, nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed. So bye.
I like Fitz.
Fitz is fine, right? But that's a pretty typical pairing with Scott.
We could get unique late. We could get unique later.
Okay.
I like Scott. I like Fitz there. Okay, let's scroll down even more. Let's do something fun. Let's do Minwoo Lee. Oh, no, actually, Lowry, Shane Lowry.
We might be able to get. So it's
remember is Shane actually? You're right. Yeah,
we'll get him with our next
unique. Well, you said you want to get unique, right?
I know, but we'll get with our next pick. Well, maybe.
Okay, that's fine. It's up to you.
Is there anyone at the top here you like?
Let's just take a chance on Ludwig.
You want to?
I think if we're gonna try to gain strokes, tee to green, he's solid. So yeah. Plus, he can't be this bad forever, right?
Is it somewhat cursed that he won this event last year at a different venue?
I feel like he's got to have motivation to do well. He's been so bad. He's been at the foot. He's literally been at the foot of every leaderboard this year.
It's funny that he would go 13th at the Genesis at Riv, but he goes like 8th in the majors only. It's like, what is the logic there?
Yeah, I know. I mean, trust me, I don't like Ludwig, but if we're gonna get unique, I would consider that unique because I hate Ludwig.
Hartman says, unowned. Rico would be like 5 to 8% owned, or
I mean, this week where putting doesn't matter as much. It's a solid last round pick. I think we could do it.
It's interesting.
But yeah, no, he loses so much strokes putting. It's difficult to trust him. But if he could just be average, if he could just be average at putting, he could easily get top 20.
So we have 3 picks left. We'll keep Rico in a back pocket. I am interested to pop over here again and see if there's any names that we like. I'm sorry it's so bright and a little bit small, but I
have sunglasses so my eyes don't hurt me.
That's true. Hisatsune, which he's getting drafted a little bit too much to be truly more unique. Is Glover's in this field too because of
Oh,
the
actually, yeah, Glover's historically a great ball striker. That's a good scroll down shout. I like that.
Glover. I bet Glover doesn't. And then Collie was kind of interesting too because he's so far down.
I like Glover better than Collie, but
Yeah, me too.
actually, I would like Glover better than Hui. I bet no one even. I bet a ton of people don't even know Glover's in the field. He hasn't played like at all this year.
He hadn't been drafted once even. See, I'm a big fan of Glover's
Yeah,
game.
yeah. Just I would just start Glover. This is a good course fit for him. Like I said, he's historically a great ball striker and not a good putter. This is a great fit for him. So let's see. We got Lowry starred. Um,
Yeah, Minwoo Lee's
I
still
would
there
take.
too.
Wow. Okay, just do that then. Yeah, just do
But
Lowry,
also it's
Minwoo
like
Lee.
Hovland,
Oh
Rose,
wow,
and
Hovland's still
Griffin.
here. Oh no, remember Hovland's terrible around the green. So we
Yeah.
wouldn't want Hovland. Oh wait, it's not
Okay.
our turn yet. I wouldn't want Hovland because he's not good around the green. And like I said, with this stick rough, that's not the archetype you'd want this week, I don't think. So I would just kind of stay away from Hovland this week.
Gotcha.
But yeah, like I said, looking for good ball strikers. I think Minwoo Lee and Lowry's a good shout. Justin Rose, I think the course, I mean, he still had 180 ball speed at the Farmers. That's nuts. He still hits the ball a ton.
Griffin goes.
And I think Lowry and oh man, I don't want to do actually McNeely's fine. Yeah, Lowry McNeely
Sure. You prefer Lowry. We're gonna do Lowry. You prefer McNeely over Rose in this
Rose.
situation?
Actually, I'd probably do. Oh man, I would probably lean Rose actually. But if you want to get let's just do Lowry Rose
Because we're
because
getting a
the
little
weather's
bit of
supposed to be.
ADP on Rose, which
Yeah,
in
plus
itself
the
is
weather's
probably
supposed to
nice.
be. Yeah, plus the weather's supposed to be bad, and the bad weather tends to favor European golfers since they're used to it.
I know. I always lean into that too. The one time I
Yeah.
played golf in England, it rained on us the entire round.
Yeah, well, it's gonna rain all weekend and well, not maybe not all weekend, but most of the days at the Riv. So, yeah, I think Lowry and Rose are a good
So
shout there.
I like this. I know the last team we had 3 picks in the 30s, but this one, you know,
It's
I'm
very
not going to
European,
suggest that Scotty, Fitz, and Ludwig is so rare. Even with Shane Lowry, it's probably been duped. But then we get
but
a
then to get Justin
ADP on
Rose, yeah,
Rose, and then to top it off with Glover, I think would be unique.
yeah, that would be unique. Plus, like you said, you got four European golfers on a course that's gonna have bad weather. I don't think you could go wrong there.
Worst case scenario, we just get to take Bridgman in our last pick.
Yeah, this is not the week for him. He's not a long hitter of the golf ball. I wouldn't take Bridgman.
Or
We can still do Corey
or
Connors,
we come back around to like a
Bud
Hoey.
Hoey or Bud Cauley. Yeah, Bud Cauley's a better putter, so
We
I do
did we
Bud
did
Cauley over
hype up
Hoey.
Connors at one point, but he's
Yeah,
been
I do like the Glover shout actually. No one's gonna
oh no,
take
we're gonna go
Glover.
Glover. No one's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
take
yeah. No one, in heck, no one even knows he's in the field. I didn't know he was in the field. I mean, he just hasn't played all year. It's like,
yeah, let's
but
go.
yeah, no,
So I remember him. I'm trying to remember
he
why
did,
he
he
was
did finish. No, he did finish top 50 last year. He did,
yeah.
but like I said, he just hasn't played this year, so I forgot about it. I'm sure everyone else forgot about it too.
When he won his US Open, it was at Bethpage. That's right.
Wasn't it like in 2009?
Yeah.
That's so long ago. Yeah, he's. I think he's like literally the same age as Justin Rose.
He always does well at the deer, which is funny. And yeah, same age as
We're gonna
Rose.
have if we could take Glover, we're gonna have an old ass team.
You know, him and Rose. Yeah, he's only played at Pebble Beach and he didn't do very good, but
But it's a ball striker. Well, Pebble Beach. Yeah, that's not a ball striker course though. So, this is a better course fit for him. I do like that Glover shout.
probably the only Glover team that gets drafted because this is going to close in the
Right?
next, 12 hours. No, the next 8 hours.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Like I said, I'm sure a lot of people are just like me, totally forgot he was even in the field.
Let's see. I'm going to scroll down to anyone else that has a perfect 36, which means they haven't been drafted. It's just him, Vegas, Schmid, Potgieter, and
Potkeeter
Campbell.
hits the ball a mile, but you also can't keep it to the fairway. I just don't trust Potkeeter.
Yeah, out of this group, he's in my mind the best. I don't hate the Kevin Yu either. I don't know why I think that
Yeah,
he's
like I said, I do like out of all those, I do like Glover the best. I can't
yeah.
even believe
Oh,
Maddie.
for sure.
Actually, Maddie Schmid was high on that list you showed me.
Yeah, I'll pop over there for a sec. We saw Schmidt on there. Where
He
was
was near
he?
the top. He was I think he was number 5.
There he
Oh
is,
yeah,
Matty Schmidt.
just do Matty Schmidt. Why not? No one will take him either.
You've already sold me on Glover, but do you think Schmidt just has a better chance because he's not 46?
I think just because he's been playing, we should just do Schmidt.
Yeah, let's pop over to Schmid's because you're right. There is something about recency. I can't spell
Well,
Schmid.
like I said, just because Glover's been late, he's been having time off. I mean, he hasn't had a great year. I know that because I haven't been in a ton of best ball teams, but
Yeah, I
he's been
haven't seen Matt.
playing.
Haven't seen Matty's name pop up anywhere. He's got cut everywhere.
Either one, Glover. Yeah, you can do Glover. It's fine.
We're going with Glover because
We're doing Glover. Yeah,
we scored our
he
stuff
should
on
be the
him.
better golfer. Yeah.
The two oldest golfers in the field, literally.
Yeah, well, older than Adam Scott.
Adam Scott is I want to say definitely younger than Rose, and Glover was older than Rose.
Yeah, that's true. I think Glover's 46. So okay, yeah.
46.
Well, that's unique.
And then Scott. I thought Scott was like 42 or 43. No, he's
I think
also
you're
45.
right.
Wow, I was wrong.
Okay, so let's just say 2 of the
Close
3
enough.
then. Yeah,
Close enough. What is Rose age? Just for trivia.
I think he's 45
Over
as well.
under 45 in 7 months.
Oh, I thought he's 45 right now, so he's gonna be over, right?
Over under. You say over? I think
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
exactly the same age.
Oh, you tricked me.
I didn't know
You
either. I was
tricked me.
guessing.
Yeah.
Interesting. So
Awesome.
Scotty Scheffler, Fitzpatrick, Oberg, Lowry, Rose, and Glover. Incredible. And
Yeah, pretty good teams.
that's how we wrap it up tonight. That's what we got. We drafted 2 Albatross. We drafted 2 Underdog Opens. We talked some ball, and we had some fun doing it. Jeff T, one of my favorite people in the chat every week. Thanks for coming on. I'm glad we did this.
Yeah, it was magical. It was magical Kenya Open week. I felt like I had to celebrate the occasion as the kind of honorary Kenyan in the chat. And like I said, now you all know that Riviera's grass comes from Kenya, and everyone's going to say the name wrong all weekend. So just don't do what they do.
Thanks so much, Jeff. Fun draft with you, my man. Good luck this season. I'll see you in the chat soon, and we'll potentially we'll do another draft at some point later in the Albatross when we're ripping it again and ADPs have changed. It'd be fun.
Yeah,
for me, I've got plans. I think I'm going to set up a stream. I don't know if I'm going to do one tomorrow night, Thursday, but it's either going to be my next stream is either going to be Thursday or Friday. At the very least, Saturday, and it'll be best ball. It'll be big board. So we'll get right back to that.
Nice.
But good luck at Riv this week with your teams, with your sweats, and we'll catch y'all in another one soon. For Jeff T, for myself, peace out. Thanks for being here, guys. Have a great night. See ya.